Hey guys, I'm Sebastian at Performance Place. This is going to be part of our Sciatica series that's on YouTube. You can find it in a playlist that covers a bunch of questions about sciatica. So the first questions we're going to answer in this series is going to be, I apologize, I'm going to look at my phone first since we got a lot of questions, is what does sciatica feel like? We're going to cover a few presentations at what it'll feel like. Can sciatica affect both legs? And is bed rest good for sciatica? So remember, you can fast forward through and find the timestamps in all of these videos. I'll be marking them for you so you can address each question in turn if you'd like. So first, let's just start out with what does sciatica feel like? Now, the classic sciatica that most people are familiar with, and I'm going to use this little band here as part of the model, is I'm just going to tuck it into my pants there, and kind of where it falls back into here is where sciatica typically goes. Most of the time, it's into the back side of the buttocks area, and it goes down into the back of the thigh and the back of the calf and the bottom of the foot. It can go to multiple different toes. It can actually happen a little bit more so. Sometimes on the side it wouldn't be like your classic presentation, but it can be part of the symptom pattern. Now, a lot of people with sciatica can feel they can have different presentations or just different severities. A lot of people with very classic type of sciatica will have raging leg pain, searing leg pain down the back of the thigh and sometimes into the calf. Now that typically happens when that person bends forward, and here's why. I should have just kept it tucked in, huh? So as you bend forward, if I were to step on this guy, when I bend forward, it stretches the nerve right into here, which when you put a nerve on tension when it's already irritated, it doesn't like it necessarily. But a lot of people with sciatica, when they have pain bending forward, such as this, and it starts to shoot down the leg, actually bending at the knees to create less tension through the nerve and slacken the nerve as it goes down into here. We'll do that one more time here. Didn't mean to get it to lose out of the pants there. And so if I bend at the knee here, see how slack this thing is here too. So a lot of times you can navigate things like getting things on and off the floor with a bent knee position versus a straight-legged one or bending forward. Now, other people with sciatica will feel just buttocks pain. They won't necessarily feel it anywhere too far other than the buttocks area, and there's a little bit of tightness down into the hamstring and into the calf. It's not severe pain, it's just tight. And it's a tightness that feels like it doesn't go away. A lot of people have described it as it feels like their muscles like a rope. It just feels ropey, and they put pressure on it and rub it, and it seems like it increases their symptoms as well. Okay, so there is the intense shooting leg pain in the same distribution pattern, and then there's the ropey type of feeling. All right, these are the most common types of sciatica. Now, the second question was, can sciatica affect both legs? I would probably say no. Sciatica coming from, people can have leg pain in the same presentation on both sides, but your sciatica is a lot of times, if we're talking about the actual cause or the actual, I guess it can happen to both sides now I'm thinking about it. Now the second question is, can you have sciatica on both legs? Yes, you can have sciatica on both legs. Sciatica basically means leg pain, and so you can have leg pain, the same type of searing, or the tension, the deep pulled type of feeling, the deep rope type of feeling into both legs, into a very similar and symmetrical presentation. Now, if this is happening to you, you're actually kind of more of the you're the uncommon one. All right, most of the time people have it on a single side. It's much easier to treat when it's on a single side. When it is a single side, a lot of times people will say there's things like piriformis syndrome or peripheral nerve entrapments, or the sciatic nerves trapped within the bellies of the hamstring, or there might be a radiculopathy, a pinched nerve, a posterior lateral disc herniation, or even foraminal stenosis. I know it's a lot of words, feel free to rewind that. But those are very common reasons for single-sided sciatica. Now, if you're looking at both-sided sciatica in a similar type of presentation, so it's almost mirror images of each other, you have to consider a central cause. It's coming together somewhere When we work with people with sciatica, a lot of times identifying if they have both sides, it narrows the field of what we're looking at as the symptom generator. Now, if you have pain on, I'm just going to use myself here again. If you have sciatica pain on the both sides here, there's not going to be probably two entrapments of the sciatic nerve in the hamstrings. There's probably not going to be two piriformis syndromes. There's probably not going to be two pinched nerves on both sides. There's going to be something central. There's going to be something kind of up into here, like if you imagine like there's a river and you had pollution going into all the different tributaries, you probably want to look at the main river, not just each people, like say in both rivers people are dumping trash into both, they're probably dumping it in the main river. And so something like a disc herniation, central canal stenosis, bilateral foraminal stenosis, or something happening at the spine is probably going to be the most common thing that you're going to find. Before we go on to the third question, which is bed rest good for sciatica? I want to mention that if you guys, if you want to know more about sciatica, we do have a gift for you too. It will pop up on the side of the screen, and it's a way for you guys to learn a little bit more about sciatica in a concentrated way. We get a lot of questions and comments and emails about if we treat sciatica and if we work with people with sciatica and other questions about sciatica. The purpose of this playlist is to address a lot of the questions, but if you go to the other thing I'm talking about, it'll actually be more extensive, only if you want to, all right? By the way, you can always work with us virtual or in person. We see a lot of people virtually as well. Now, is bed rest good for sciatica? Well, I'd say in a short time frame, yes. In a long time frame, no. What I mean by that is that if laying down and hanging out in bed improves your sciatica, then yes, it's going to be helpful for a period of time. So I like to call this a position of comfort. All right, pain, nerve pain, sciatica pain, many types of pain that your body is experiencing, a lot of it is a way of your body telling you what is a good and bad thing for you at that point in time, which does change. Currently, if things are so aggravated that walking, crawling, even turning in bed are so painful, it might be easier just to let everything cool down for a couple days and then start to do stuff. So in that type of sense, if laying in a certain position in bed is actually helpful on the leg pain and you feel pretty good, then what's wrong with that? Over the long term, the negative effect of having too much bed rest is you decondition your body, you deload the hips, you make it harder to recover over the long term. We have a general rule here when we work with people is that when at all possible, when you can walk, start walking. Like if you have no pain walking, but you have also no pain doing bed rest, I'd rather you go walk around the block or walk around the neighborhood or walk, I mean, you can walk for miles as long as you don't have any pain with walking. Okay? Sometimes we have people crawl when there's no pain crawling. We have people do corrective exercises when there's no pain doing those corrective exercises. And anytime they're at the gym and they say, well, it only hurts when I deadlift, but not when I'm doing other things, then they can still do all the other things, all right? Not everything will make you feel worse. Not everything is going to make you feel worse with sciatica. But with bed rest, it's helpful until it's not, because it's harder to recover if your body deconditions itself, all right? And it does so at a very quick rate. I think the rate is for every day you're in bed rest, it takes you 4 days to recover that amount of strength that you lost during that day of bed rest. But short term, there's no problem with it. Now, subscribe to the channel and go take a look at the remainder of the playlist that we have on sciatica. Remember, this is a series. I'm going to be trying to answer as many questions as we possibly can. If you want to work with us, we're in Costa Mesa, California. We also work virtually with people. And I think we're pretty good at it. So we pride ourselves in being very good with low back pain, sciatica, hip, and groin pain. Those are very, very, I don't want to say simple. We like to work with people with that kind of thing. We do pretty good at it, and you'll feel pretty good pretty quickly, hopefully. So we'll see you guys next time.